Yes, 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 yes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Before we go any further, hit the like button. Please share this on your social media platforms. Why you would tune in and watch me and not share the content is beyond me. If you're a subscriber, please hit the bell notification button. If you're not a subscriber, what are you doing? Make sure you hit that up. The Sancho deal, it rumbles on again this morning. And listen, the premise of the transfer videos we have here is to bring to you the news that's circulating most, give you our take on it, give you my take on it, and of course give you the opportunity to express yourself. There's a lot of talk yesterday about Manchester United having until the 10th of August to submit their official bid. And interestingly, a lot of the stories we're hearing at the moment feed directly into what Daniel Harris, who came on our show exclusively last week to discuss, has said that essentially there is going to be a lump sum paid at the front. That's now differentiating between publications between 60 and 70 million euros. And the remainder is going to be paid over the contract of Jadon Sancho. And what Daniel Harris said is coming absolutely true. It's about negotiating how that is structured. There are some publications saying that it will be 3 payments of 20 million. There are others saying that it will be completely and equally amortized over the course of the contract, which is likely to be a 5-year deal with a 1-year extension on top, so 6 years. That is what is being negotiated between the two clubs now. This deal is in a very healthy situation for both Manchester United and Dortmund. Do I believe there's a Friday deadline? No. Do I believe the deal can be completed after this Friday? Absolutely. Absolutely. And from my point of view, the reason we keep speaking about it is because there are always these deviations. And let's just go through very quickly. It takes us less than a minute to go through the facts of this matter. Between March and now, nothing drastic has changed in relation to Sancho wanting to join Manchester United. Personal terms, shirt number, salaries, bonuses, image rights, agreed to in principle. Sancho very happy to join Man United. Man United know that he is their number one target. They're in love with him. They want to bring him to the club. No negotiations between Dortmund and Man United took place over March, April, May, and June. Dortmund didn't want to enter into negotiations with anybody regarding the sale of Jadon Sancho until their title charge, as it were, their run-in was over, done, and dusted. So conversations have only been going on in principle for 2 to 3 weeks, although a lot of work has been done behind the scenes. A lot of the opening 2 to 3 weeks has been an element of let's come to a conclusion on the price. And it does appear that a sum between 100 and 120 million euros is going to be agreed, which is absolutely fine. Man United are going to submit the bid. All the other nonsense you've heard in between. There's a story that I highlighted this morning that genuinely made me chuckle. And there's a lot of publications out there. So this is what I read. It says Man United are unable to pay a lump sum of 120 million euros for Borussia Dortmund Sancho. The Premier League club are currently working on a finance package worth an initial 70 million plus further 50 million over a 2-year period. Media outlets are now trying to make United's structuring of this deal sound like we're broke, like we're running out of money, like there's a major problem. And for me, like I've said many, many times before, this is all nonsense. Do not be suckered in. We're going to have Kieran Maguire on the show this evening, one of the world's leading financial football experts, to come and talk about this deal and some others and how the structuring is going to work. Almost reiterate what he came on the show and said 4 months ago, just so people understand that do not be suckered in at any moment by the way that these publications come out and talk about these deals. Jadon Sancho to Man United is closer than it's ever been. It's very, very close to being the deal to being completely and utterly agreed to from a club-to-club point of view. Player wants to join Manchester United. Reds out there, get yourselves excited. For every single rival that said this deal wouldn't happen, it is upon the edge. Don't allow yourself to be deviated by crazy stories. Nothing drastic has changed since Daniel Harris came on this show last week. Total fees are pretty much in agreement. It's the structure of the deal that's being put together. These things don't work like a football game. They don't work like a computer game. They don't work how you think they do in your mind. Listen to the show tonight when we have Kieran Maguire on to go through this in a little bit more detail. You can call in via Skype, by the way. Skype lines are open if you want to come on and talk to us. If you want to come on and talk to us, and we'll go from there. I did have a comment earlier on our community page that I really enjoyed. It was like, Terry, why do you talk about media speculation? Because we're football fans. And that's what we're here to do. Let me just reiterate again for all the people in the back that either don't. What I love is the people that comment don't actually listen, watch the show. I'm not in the know when it comes to football on the whole. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a football fan. I talk about what I read in the media and we discuss it as a community. That is what we are. There is no YouTuber on the planet, from the biggest to the smallest, who have any real connections in football. They're not Fabrizio Romano. They're not Damasio. They're not Simon Stone. None of them. They all, by the way, every single YouTube channel gets its stories from pretty much the same source, the media. I love how people don't get that. We're going to go to some calls in a minute. We've got Amar Khan on the line, but we're just going to touch on the other stories. There's a really interesting article I read in the Express that was kind of pretty. It said, Aston Villa's Jack Grealish to Man United could be under threat because of Man City. And I initially thought, what's this going to be, another story about a club's going to come in? Rare. No. Essentially, Man City paying £41 million for Nathan Ake is one of the biggest reasons why Villa are pushing up their price of Jack Grealish. And this is to be expected. When I read the story, I read the article, go out there and just search it. Just search Jack Grealish, Man United, The Express. It's an interesting piece. It's a very small piece, but it's a really good one to read. It highlights, again, value versus market price, value versus demand, value versus scarcity. It's a basic economy lesson for you. But essentially, Villa are saying, well, City have paid almost double the valuation, 80-odd%, I would say, the valuation of Nathan Ake. So Villa are going to push for £80 million. That is why this deal will be slowed down, because Man United are going to spend the summer trying to drive that price down. One way that happens over a course of time, if nobody else is interested and the player's still looking for a move away, or nobody else is willing to pay the 80 million, it will naturally push the price down. This is why football fans have to get this weird notion out of their minds that deals are going to be done quickly. Deals are always done quickly. All other clubs get deals done quickly. No, often not. Unless there's a desperate need for a club to sell, a buyout clause has been reached, or you pay extortionately over the valuation of a player. Other than that, deals take quite a bit of time. As a HD here says, Liverpool have bid for Mandy from Betis. Okay, I haven't seen that today. Maybe we'll touch on that a little bit later on this afternoon. We're going to talk Matip a little bit later to PSG. I'd love to know Liverpool fans' thoughts on that. Ginger Fury 97 says, love the podcast. Who do you think the second signing will be after Sancho? Listen, there could be a signing before Sancho. You never quite know. If a deal isn't agreed by Friday, United could bring somebody else in before him. But I've still got a feeling that Grealish will happen, and Grealish will come through. By the way, if you're calling in and I answer the phone and I don't talk straight away, you're in the holding area. Just stay on the line and you'll get on. Just relax your head in relation to that. We've got Smile on the line here. Smile, welcome to the show. What do you want to say?
Good afternoon. It's afternoon here in Istanbul.
Lovely, my friend. Can you do me a favor? Can you turn your device down in the background?
Yeah, I did.
Perfect. There we go. Yeah, what transfer rumor do you want to speak about, my friend?
Though I'm not a United fan, but I would like to talk about the Sancho deal.
Go for it.
I believe the deal is going to go through, but Man U is trying to be in a better position to negotiate the deal. So, because it's not something you have to rush. Talking about the Sané deal, you won't believe Bayern has been on the deal for about 6 months. And when they finally got it sorted, it's like as if they just started within a week and it got sorted. So deals like that take time. It's not something they rush to. It's something you have to take one step at a time. I believe the deal is going to go through. Likewise as Havertz to Chelsea too. But it's going to take time.
Yep, mate, I couldn't agree with you more. So many deals. Sometimes as well. So for instance, when Real Madrid bought Hazard and when Real Madrid bought Cristiano Ronaldo, in the actual summers those players left, it happened fairly quickly. However, those clubs were tracing those signings for 2 years. So,
Yes.
12 months before Man United sold Real Madrid Ronaldo, Fergie said he wouldn't sell him a cold. And one of the reasons we may have not been ready to sell him at that point, but the offer wasn't right. And, people have this really, again, I don't generally blame the public. Well, no, I do. The public act like these things should happen like a computer game. And the media indulges your stupidity by printing stories and articles and opinion pieces that play into that. It's like the media at the moment can see that a lot of Man United rivals are upset with the amount of penalties we get. So you keep seeing media outlets do articles, stories, and videos about how many penalties we keep getting. And I sit there and think to myself, how sheep-like are the general public? You cannot see that your delusions are being fed, nurtured, and sort of mothered by the media. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see sometimes when people's stupidity is massaged in such a way. I find it hilarious, if I'm being honest with you.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you. Because this kind of deal, Sancho is a very top player, and Dortmund, you want to be on the better side of the deal. They want to get as much as possible as they can get for the deal. Even with this corona, the pandemic, they will still. And at the same time, with Manchester United, you want just little deals, and at the end of the day, they will end up in the low side. I believe Sancho is going to be a very, very, very top player.
Yeah, no, mate.
One of my favorite player. And there was a comment about yesterday. Someone was talking about Rashford. To me, I'm not a Man United fan, but that was my favorite Man United player. And they never compare Rashford to Dembele. He's far better than Dembele. Dembele can never play in the Premiership and be of that standard. No, he can never.
My brother, listen, my bro. Listen, I get that. This is, as we were saying yesterday, people care. I think Leroy Sané is really talented, right? I see a video doing the rounds this morning of him dribbling past 3 or 4 players in training for Bayern. And at the end of it, he gets tackled. And that's always my view on these things. At the end of it, he gets tackled. And I'm sitting there watching it going, all that skill, and he was better off passing to a teammate in the end. And that's what happens with a lot of these fans. They think they're playing knockouts over the park with their friends. It's all about the dribbling and the skill. They think they're watching a freestyle video on YouTube. That just isn't how football works. It's about, by the way, Sané has got end products. But my point is, I looked at that. I thought, oh, that's a good dribble, but he lost the ball in the end. So for me, it's a pointless dribble. I only celebrate a piece of skill if at the end of it, there's something tangible. That's just my view. But listen, I appreciate you coming on. We've got KO on now. KO, the Chelsea fan. What you saying, bro?
Hey, Sir, how are you?
I'm very well, mate. I'm very, very well. It's another beautiful day. I've got another week off the day job, so it's just me, YouTube, and you guys loving it. What do you want to say, my bro?
Well, I'm kind of annoyed about the Chelsea thing, about the Havertz.
Why?
Well, as you know, I love the guy, not because we share the same name, but I just, it's like Lampard is insisting on Chilwell, and Leicester are insisting on 60 million.
Yep.
And Tagliafico is basically available for 25. And if we get Tagliafico, we basically get a better player, plus we have more money to invest into our central defenders. There was something about Gomez from Atletico Madrid. If you remember, there was reports of him being able to live on a cheap this summer. So so that money that we could be losing signing Chilwell, we could be investing on a left back and on a center defender, basically improving us.
So,
what I mean?
So what I would say to that, bro, I get what you're saying in terms of you would prefer Tagliafico. Does he want to come to Chelsea? Is there any sign? Is there any noise that he wants to come to the Premier League? He wants to join Chelsea?
Yeah. It's actually in January they were going to get him, but Ajax insisted that they wanted to keep him until the summer, and also he wanted to play in the Premier League. I remember he had something. He said something about that also, like last summer, I think.
Okay,
The same thing with Telles.
Okay, I'm not overly
years of
and I'm not
interest.
overly challenging that. I don't know enough about the player. I don't know what he has said and done. At the end of the day, if Lampard prefers Ben Chilwell, then that's fine. But you are always going to pay more money for a Ben Chilwell. One, because that Premier League proven tag. Secondly, if Ake is going for 41 million, whatnot, you're going to get those. I think you could probably pick up Ben Chilwell for less than 60 mil. That's probably why that deal was slowed down in recent weeks. Just got to do a few super chats here. The first one is from Fikret, who says, Terry, we could only spend a total of 190 million if we can get Torres, Van der Beek, and Sancho and Partey. So why wait another year? We need to build and change ASAP. We wait for other clubs to rebuild as well. Yeah, listen, I would love Man United to spend 190, 200, 300, 400 million pounds on the right players this summer. I absolutely would. Am I expecting that? Probably not. I am expecting about 150 to 160 million in terms of the overall fee we will play in the end. In terms of outgoing funds this summer, you're probably looking at somewhere in the region of 100 million pounds. Dinesh here with another super chat. Let me just go back to it here. It says, morning, Terry. Why would Matip want to leave Liverpool for PSG? Him staying, he could go down with Liverpool as a great, go down with Liverpool's, let me read that again. Leave Liverpool for PSG. Him staying, he could go down with great Liverpool sides in the past. Sorry, I read it wrong. Sorry, my bad. He could, but at the same time, he may feel like he's going to be phased out more and more with Gomez becoming stronger. He may want to play more regularly. He may have had enough of being in the UK. There are personal reasons as to why he might leave, although Liverpool are the best team out there right now. Daniel Sweetman here says, great content as ever, Terry, enjoying the banter. Thank you. Yusuf is saying, how do you call in? I always tell people this, just search Football Terrace on Skype. You'll see our logo, real simple. No big one there. We've added Mo Ali to the call here. Mo Ali, what do you want to say, bro? Mo, you can speak? You muted yourself, bro. I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He hung up himself. There we go. He gone. He disappeared. But yeah, like I get that. But I think that Chelsea fans have just got to relax a little bit, in my opinion. You're going to be absolutely fine. Deals are going to happen this summer. You know, theoretically, the season hasn't even ended yet. In essence, there's a lot of clubs out there that are still playing football. Teams have gone this is normally the hard period as well in the transfer window to get deals done, in that 2-week period at the end of the domestic campaigns where players will go on holidays, because things can't be finalized until legitimately cannot be finalized until players are back. And if they're on holiday with families, as an example, it's going to be important. So you will always see, for me, a sort of lull at this point at the same time. But we'll see what happens. I do think Chelsea will pick up at least 2 sort of defensive players at the back. And I'm not sure what, you think you guys need a goalie, left back, centre back. I've always kind of felt you'd get 2 of those 3 in this summer, and then kind of go from there. But as I say, we will see. Let's see a few more comments here. Terry, add a Sancho sticker, and I will buy a membership again. we will add a Sancho sticker when he signs for Manchester United, is what we will do. Let's do a few more of these comments that are coming through here. Thoughts on Diego Carlos from Sevilla? Again, I don't really have any. I don't watch Sevilla play. I haven't done much sort of analysis on the individual. He could end up being a brilliant centre-back. He could end up being... I remember... So why I like to do my own analysis rather than this. I remember when City signed... Is it Mangala? Man United fans were raging. I remember when City signed Otamendi. We were linked with Otamendi all summer. United fans were raging that we didn't sign him. And then in the end, it's like, I'm so glad we didn't. Like those boys are only marginally better than Smalling and Phil Jones in the cold light of day, and that's why I know I released that video yesterday about Koulibaly, and the thing with the Koulibaly thing is like it was a little bit tongue in cheek, and there was a few mistakes that I came across that were from previous seasons, but the vast majority in that video have happened since lockdown, and it's this kind of case of we always, and this is how I know that fans don't watch European football with any regularity because all I've heard people talk about when it comes to Koulibaly over the last couple of years is that he's on point and on par with Van Dijk. And I'm like, Van Dijk just don't make that volume of mistakes with that regularity as Koulibaly does. And you've only got to review it to know that he's a good defender, Koulibaly. But for me, he is no better than Maguire. Like, he really isn't. There's just nothing about him that's better. In the same way that Van Dijk is better, in the same way that Rio Ferdinand was better. Like there is a huge difference. But we've just added TD Shifts to the show. TD, what do you want to say, bro?
How you going, Ted? Can you hear me?
Perfect.
I was just ringing to say like a couple of things, right? The first off, I said back on my Twitter page back on the 21st of July that Man United was going to sign Sancho and Chelsea was going to sign Kai Havertz, right? And I even said then, that Man United was probably going to spend around 80 million euros to sign Jadon Sancho, and it looks like my predictions it probably end up being right. And I also said that Kai Havertz are probably going to join Chelsea for around 73 million euros. So that sort of figure. So that, and I'll probably end up being right again. So that's, and I look, as I said before, and I've always said it, Jadon Sancho is a top winger, and he will improve any team that he joins. And obviously, I've said that quite clearly, yeah. And I also said very clearly that if he joins Man United will be challenging and the other two teams in that top division in terms of like stuff, and I just can't praise Man United enough for doing that. So
I appreciate that. I think a lot of what you said there reigns true. I still think we need a bit more to be challenging. There was a comment I wanted to read out here from Leon who said, Terry, what's your thoughts on leaving Sancho for 1 year, getting an aging but excellent Willian for a year, and then going for Sancho next year again? 109 million is a lot. 108 million is a lot. For me, no. I have to like Willian's. I've always felt that Chelsea fans have been harsh on Willian. I think if Willian was playing on Saturday, he'd have been FA Cup champions, in my opinion. However, 109 million pounds isn't a lot for Sancho. We have to understand the inflation that's happened within football. Wayne Rooney's 27 million pound move to Man United in today's money is 140 million pounds. The Rio Ferdinand signing to Manchester United in today's money is 163 million pounds. The Cristiano Ronaldo move from Man United to Real Madrid, a player at 24, 25 at that time, in today's money is nearly a 230 million pound move. You have to put these things into perspective, that the money in football has grown epically over the past 4 to 5 to 6 years, and it's only going to improve more. I know that there was all this talk about match days not being open to fans, money's going to be lost. That's short-term losses, because the streaming companies, the Facebooks, the Amazons, the YouTubes are in conversations. In another 3 or 4 years, those companies will have more and more games. They eventually are going to pay more money into football than the billions that are already being paid in. Clubs are only going to get richer, but when the clubs get richer and the ecosystem of football improves, player fees become more expensive, especially when it comes to the continental clubs selling, because they're not getting that same TV deal money, but it's how they earn their percentage. Now, I'm not saying they've got a written rule, but I almost guarantee you that the big European leagues talk to each other and say, listen, if a Premier League club comes in, add 30% onto your asking price, and you don't do that to us. I almost feel like that, and that's how they get their cut of the Premier League's TV money. So I feel like we have to always take that into consideration when we're looking at these deals. How does it compare on an inflation basis to big transfers of the past? And for me, if this was 2004, 2005, and we were signing Sancho of this quality, we'd be bringing him in for about 20 million pounds, and nobody would be batting an eyelid. And it's the same equivalence. It's the same equivalence, just in the modern day world. If you look at Man United's transfer spend, we haven't increased. We've actually decreased the volume of our turnover that we spend on transfers since the Glazers have come in. So we actually spend less now per pound of income than we used to. But because there's more income, it seems like we're spending more. Excuse me. But we're not in that regard. We added Junior to the call. Junior, your microphone was muted because you were echoing in the background. If you've turned down your device, I'd love to hear what you've got to say, my friend. And by the way, thank you to Samuel for becoming an official member of the channel. I really do appreciate that. Nearly 1,000 people tuning in. Make sure you hit the like and share button. Junior, you there, mate?
Can you hear me?
Perfect. Who do you support, my friend?
Chelsea.
You're a Chelsea fan. What do you want to say? What's on your mind?
What are your thoughts on the speculation that Man United are going to sign Kasper Schmeichel to replace their hero?
I saw this, and I nearly did that as my main headline of the video, and I just thought, no, for me, I like Kasper Schmeichel. He's good. He isn't. I don't want to sound rude.
Isn't he like 42?
No, it's not about his age. It's not that. He's not even half the goalie his dad was. He's very good, but his dad was out of this world. And for me, that's a romantic signing. He wouldn't be good enough for Manchester United, in my opinion. Yeah, sorry, go on, mate.
Terry, like honestly, Chelsea and Man United need a new keepers to like be able to like challenge with like the Liverpool. And I'll tell you something else. Yeah,
there's class. He just needs to get his
Martinez is available. Martinez is available. And he's been one of our top goalkeepers this season. Along with Leno, and he's there for cheap. And Chelsea and Man United could snap him up. I'm just saying.
The only way
I'm not sure about that.
The only way the Kasper Schmeichel deal makes any sense to me would be to have him come in, David De Gea leave, but there's almost a kind of, you're saying to Kasper, Dean Henderson is going to be bled in over the next 18 months to 2 years.
That's true.
That would be that's the only thing with it. It's like I've said before, like I love All Black as an example.
Yeah.
But I look at the Henderson situation. If you sign any top level goalkeeper now, Henderson is never becoming Man United's number one. Not without us selling him and have to buy him back, because he has to now start playing. I almost
like him to?
I would like to see him given a chance. We're never going to know if Henderson's good enough for Man United unless we allow him to play. And I said this recently about Liverpool's youngsters, Arsenal's youngsters, all these young players. How you know whether they're good enough is by testing them in games that matter, and maybe testing them playing 2 or 3 games on the bounce. Until we see how these people handle these situations, we have no idea of knowing how good they are. None. What they've done at academy level, what they have done at reserve level in the championship, don't collate. And we've seen this year.
What about on loan at the Prem as at Sheffield?
We've seen that, but there's a different pressure playing for Man United. People don't remember Ben Foster, when he was out on loan before he got given his chance at Man United, was highly, highly regarded. He got an opportunity at Man United, and in the 3 or 4 games that he played while Van der Sar was out injured, that boy just, you could see there was something missing. And for me, it was more mentality than it was anything else. Elite KJ is now on the line with us. Elite KJ, Kasper Schmeichel in, De Gea out. What you saying, bro?
What's the point? If you're going to sell De Gea, might as well just have it. Like, literally, I saw the headline and man just laughed. I was like, yo, they're trying to relive the old days with a Schmeichel in text, fam. Like, nah. Okay. Legit, it's okay, fam.
Yeah, I get that. I got a couple of super chats to do here quickly, guys. One says, Terry, those callers yesterday abusing you are jealous. I love your presence. City fans are kicking themselves for letting him leave. God bless you, bro. On the Sancho thing, Chelsea fans are 110%. I mean, this is the element of the Sancho deal as well. It doesn't get discussed enough. Man United bringing in Sancho, it's a huge thumb in the eye for City, especially if he comes to us on balls, because City had him for free. It's like the Pogba situation, but Pogba coming back and playing for Liverpool and not Man United. Like, it's painful enough you have to see the money, but for him to go to a rival, it's beautiful. Liam here for super chat says, pay them what they want for Sancho. Goals our currency in football, and he will create goals and he'll score them. You know, I know we had that caller on the other day going, oh, you know, he's rubbish. Man scored in 88%, scored or created in 88% of his league games in his whole career. And he was a teenager for the majority of that. This boy is absolute levels. How did Adam Richards get onto this call? I didn't even add this boy to this call when he's managed to get into it. That's very, very weird. He must have had a different name and then he's changed it whilst he's been let on. That's mad. It's the same guy that shouts pussy all the time down the line. Actually, no, this guy might actually be the one who tries to actually talk. I don't mind the trolls that talk nonsense. It's the ones that just shout down the line because it ruined it for everybody else. But yeah, go on. Somebody was going to say something then.
I was gonna say, Terry, what are your thoughts on the Gabriel links? Because apparently he's been linked with us as well. Because obviously he's like a really top centre back. So what's your thoughts on that? Because I've heard that you guys are looking at him as well.
One set, TP, like he's been linked with you too.
Yeah. He's been linked with us as well.
He got an Everton fan. From the moment you get linked with both Man United and Arsenal, you're going somewhere else. It's just noise. I'm telling you, it's just noise. Because how many times
Chelsea, not Arsenal, no?
Not Chelsea, no.
Not Chelsea. He's definitely linked with Man United. He's been linked with Gabriel. Been linked with Arsenal is new to me, but if it's happened, and I'm not surprised because there's certain. I'm not saying it's the players' fault because they don't control the media and what people say. But it's a very common thing to link yourself with Arsenal and Man United or Liverpool, and then end up going to like an Everton or like,
you've seen Man United come out today and sort of say that they've been annoyed at the amount of players they've been linked to that are not real. And I always say that's part of the reason that we're here as a community. We'll present you the story, and then we can decide whether it's true or not. But a lot of people say, well, Man United could just come out and debunk the myths. The problem is, if you come out and debunk the 47 links that are not true, you leave the 3 open that you are talking to. And that's how the media get away with these links. Or it's not even the media, because the media are going to report on what credible people tell them. If I'm a registered football agent and I phone the Daily Mail and say, listen, I've just come out of a meeting and Man United are making inquiries for Joe Gomez at Liverpool. As a media outlet, they've got a decision to make, and if I'm someone who's known, they're going to take that. They're going to run the story because they've been given the information as an example. It is always down to the general public to make their mind up as to what makes sense. And a big factor in what makes sense for me is, one, who is this person? Who do they play for? How good are they? Who are they linked to before Man United were used? Has anything been said in the past? Like, try and find an actual connection. And a lot of this we should be able to do ourselves as football fans, if that makes sense. And look, Gabriel looks talented. Do I think the only thing that stood out to me that made a little bit of sense is Napoli are looking to sign him as well as the replacement for Koulibaly, and I do have this sort of train of thought of why drop all the money on a Koulibaly when you could sign the person they're looking to replace him with. That might make a little bit more sense. Atif here says send Dean Henderson on loan to Leicester and get Kasper Schmeichel on loan. Let Romero go and have David De Gea and Kasper Schmeichel fight it out.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense, bro. No.
That's just wasting lawyer fees.
Yeah, that's crazy waste fees. Dinesh here says Liverpool's new kit is already sold out. Yeah, and they're getting 20% levy on that. I'm still shocked.
Finally, you couldn't take this used to wear New Balance,
Speaking of kits, Terry, the Man United kit, has it come out yet?
I have no idea. I don't care. I honestly, can I be honest with you? I look at football kits. I think they're all fairly generic. I buy some, I don't buy others. The one thing we'll never do on this channel, I say never. Someone might test me with this. If a company come to us and said we'll pay $5,000 to do it, an unveiling of a football shirt, I'd do it for the money because I'm a capitalist. However, discussing who's got the best shirt, that is, again, I look at those conversations, they're primary school conversations. That's what you discussed at primary school in the playground with your friends. Any adult who's debating whether my club shirt is better than your club shirt, these people need to be seriously investigated by the authorities of their country. It's a madness. It's a madness.
And Terry, Sorry?
Instead of debating which is better, you can admit if one is wavy and one's not, right?
Yeah, you can look if I look at a kit and go, yeah, that looks nice, that's different. But grown men and women debating over who's got the best kit, or
That's the
like,
Nigerian
or
kit.
doing a video where you unbox it and you like giving intricate detail on the kind of material that's around the neck. It's like, shut up. That is a madness.
That was Robbie was doing from AFTV.
Listen,
he was reviewing the
Yeah,
kit.
Listen,
Yeah, he was doing it. He was doing it as well. And I was kind of just sitting there, and I was kind of just like, I think he's going way into more details than it needs to be.
See,
like,
Robbie's different. Like I just said, if somebody paid me the money, I would do it. So don't get twisted when it comes to Robbie. I'm talking about people debating this stuff. I'm talking about people doing it for fun, right? Someone offers you money to do something, that's a job, right? It's different. Like if a company phones me now and says, Terry, we want to sponsor your show. We want you to review something. It's a basic product. We want you to make it sound like it's a rocket that can go to space. I'm going to do that for the money. But I'm not going to sit here by myself. Go, right, what am I going to talk about today? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the combination of nylon and cotton and why that makes my shirt better than Liverpool's. That is weird. But on Liverpool's kits selling out, which I do care about, is Liverpool fans keep trying to convince themselves they've got no money. Do you know how much money they're making off those kit sales? We've got no money.
Also, their first Nike kit, so that's probably why it's.
Comment here says, if Maguire is worth 80 million, so is Matip.
No way.
It depends, doesn't it? It depends who's, again, it's not about worth. Maguire's never been worth 80 million. His price was 80 million, but his valuation was much lower than that. It's around 33, 34% lower than that across the multiple agencies. The reason why he went for more money is because two big clubs are fighting it out for him. So if Matip wants to leave and only Paris Saint-Germain want him, you're going to get his market value, which I don't know what it is, but I'm going to estimate is around 35 million pounds. That's just off the top of my head without actually investigating it as an example. I'll go and have a little look now on, what am I going to go look at? I'll go and check. I won't check KPMG's.
Hey, Matip also 30 or 31 or something like
that. I'm not too sure, to be fair. But the point being is, if suddenly Real Madrid want him or Barcelona say we need him for our team, you'll be able to start upping that price. If Man City want him, 28 million pounds is his current market value, 28.8 if we're being honest. So the only way you're getting anything above 35 million for him is if multiple clubs want him. That's how it works. Don't conflate valuation with demand. Those two things are very, very different. I'll give you an example. Hand sanitizer, generally speaking, was about £2 or £3 until there was a shortage around the world because of the pandemic. Suddenly they were being sold for £25. They're still only worth £2 or £3, but they were being sold for £25 and people paid it. That should be your.
Terry, did you see the part where the report where Arsenal were offering 25 plus Guendouzi for Partey? And then
who's Partey?
And then Atletico were like, we wouldn't even take 25 only. So they're not even rating Guendouzi at all,
It's crazy. Again, that's it. But in terms of players being sold, use the recent situation as an example. I think there was local shops in East London where I'm from that were selling toilet paper for £20, mate. £20. That one shop that we all used to go into younger, that my local old friends were telling me, he undone all the individual packs of toilet paper and was selling individual rolls for £7.50. Sold out. So it's mad. It shouldn't be allowed to an extent. We do live in a free market, so it is. But it's this kind of case of that should explain to you how a football player, if there's scarcity and lots of people want them, you're going to be able to sell it above the valuation. It's as simple as that. And if you fail to, and that's where football fans get that as well. Football fans know this. They just like to ignore it because it dampens the banter. It's like, if we actually do this seriously, it doesn't make any sense, does it? But there we go. Any other before we leave? Any other transfer stories that are out there at the moment you boys want to speak about?
By the way, one more thing. This is something that came out just recently. Yeah, like Aubameyang has been apparently offered a 3-year contract with 250k a week.
I mean, I'm going to ask everybody's opinion on this. I want to speak about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We'll start with you, TD. Very briefly answers because there's quite a few of you to get through. Is he going to sign a new deal or is he leaving? In your opinion?
I honestly believe, in my honest opinion, I think he will stay. I think he will stay because not only has I think because he's won the FA Cup now, and he sees what Mikel Arteta's doing behind the scenes, and I think he believes in him, and he thinks, and Arteta believes in him, and I think both of them have come to an understanding where they will both sort of make the best of it, and he will end up staying.
What's the FA Cup? You know, the guy is like 30, almost 32 now, 31. He doesn't want to play in Kazakhstan anymore. You know, he wants to go play in the Champions League. So I think
that is true. That is true. That is true. He wants to play in the Champions League, but however, like no other club is going to offer him the same amount of wages that Arsenal do. No team is going to offer him the same amount of wages.
Guys, one at a time. Guys, stop. One at a time, please, because no one can hear you otherwise.
Not only that, he feels at home at Arsenal. He feels at home, and he doesn't want to leave. And that's the thing. He does.
Yeah,
okay.
But if he felt at home, he'd sign it a long time ago.
Elite KJ, what you saying, bro? Is Pierre staying or going?
Staying. And for the main fact, he's at home at London, and he likes Arteta, blah, blah. But for the main fact, no club can afford the transfer fee right now. Like, not really. Like, Real Madrid ain't looking to buy.
I mean, he's got a year left, so he won't be expensive.
Juve ain't looking to buy. Like no one's in the market for a top striker at the moment. So that's why it's staying. One of the main reasons, and simple.
But if he leaves on a free, then he will be on the market, and he still has like one or 2 years in him, you know. So Barca could sign him, and I just
that's the element that Arsenal have got to be careful with. He doesn't want to. I suppose it's this season, isn't it? If he doesn't want to sign a new deal, you get rid of him this summer, because I think although it'll be important next year, there'll be you're gonna get nothing for him, and he leaves for free, and I think that's a little more detrimental. I just scraped my foot on something. I had no idea what that was. I left a drawer open underneath my thing. That hurt. But there we go. Listen, boys, I appreciate you all coming on, having your say as ever.
Are you all right? Terry, can you just talk about
one sec, guys. Too many voices. Adam, how did you get onto this stream?
Terry, look, I don't know why you kicked me out firstly. I did nothing wrong last time. It wasn't me that sweat. It wasn't me. Like in your last stream, so I don't know why you kicked me out. But I want to talk about FSG. That's why I'm here, because FSG, I don't know why Liverpool fans still say FSG is that they're good. Like, these guys don't spend money, and it's getting to me now. Like, they don't spend money. Like, we saw Lovren. Now, according to reports, we're gonna get Mundy or this guy from Real.
Didn't even pay the cafeteria lady yet, man.
Yeah, look, we're only like signing replacements. We're not signing anyone that's good. Why didn't we sign Sancho? We have the money. Why not? Why
to sit on the bench?
Sancho
wants to start, mate. He doesn't want to sit on the bench.
Oh, well, we have a lot of competitions to fit him in. He can still play 40 games easy. It doesn't matter. Like, you think...
but Sancho wants to play first-team football, mate. He wants to play first-team football, and he's going to if he goes and joins starters.
He will in 3 years. Salah Mane is both like 28. Look, I'm telling you, if we gave Sancho the same money as Man United, he would have joined Liverpool, in my opinion. Because Liverpool, there's future, there's trophies, and he'll be a starter in 2 years. Salah will probably leave maybe next season, or Mane will leave next season. So what I'm trying to say is, why is these guys not investing their money in? I get they make good recruitment, but they're doing nothing with the money they have. They have only like 90 million net spent since Klopp has joined. That's terrible. Like, we got to the Champions League final twice. We won the Premier League. We have the money. Why are we not spending it? What are we waiting for? Next season, Man City's already spending. They're spending 41 million on Ake. Like, they're going to get close to us next season. Why are we not spending? I don't get it.
You have financial issues. You need to pay the cafeteria lady. You still have to pay your staff. You just Fergal them. You know, you need to pay them.
Man, what financial issues? Are you serious?
Adam, guys. So you're unhappy with the way your club is being run as a Liverpool fan right now?
Yeah, it's pissing me off. Like, they're not making money at all. They literally just sell here and they get the money from there and they're spending. Like, literally, if you look at that, they got to 2 Champions League finals. They won the Premier League, so they're probably on positive. Like, they're not even spending money. They're just making money. That's it. It's like,
well,
why didn't they?
I heard Liverpool were apparently looking at Adama Traore as well. So clearly Klopp wants someone.
No,
mate. They pay him with food stamps.
That's it. Max 30 minutes.
There we
That
go.
won't be
Well,
anything.
we've heard it all now. Adam, thank you for coming on. Everyone else, thank you very much for coming on. People really do appreciate it. Listen, do us a big favor. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. Please subscribe to the Football Terrace. It's really important that we get that done. But until next time, take care of yourselves. God bless. And we'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.